Hello and welcome everybody. I'm Rose Smith from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com. Thank you for joining me for the 2025 Astrological Overview. This is a quick overview of the whole year. I'll be looking at the social planets and also the transpersonal planets way out there at the end of the solar system. It's not about personal planets, so I'll be shortly doing your horoscopes for the year, and then you can have a look at what Mercury, Venus and Mars are doing in your horoscope. But let's go to the board now. I'm going to draw two tarot cards as theme cards for you and just focus on the first half of the year. Okay, so I see a train track, I see rolling stock, and so these are the carriages and such like. So trains are about movement and carriage, obviously, but they also carry freight. So it could be about getting a fair bit of work done, as well as personal freedom and travel. It's interesting I'm seeing trains rather than planes for travel, okay? The other thing I'm seeing is an explosion, which does fit with the theme that I've prepared, which is all about the fire and air signs coming in next year and into 2026. So the card that comes up is a Justice card. This is saying that karma, natural law, L-O-R-E, is going to be a theme rather than just the strict interpretation of the law. It's going to be the spirit of the law, which is open to interpretation. So there's a bit of a double-edged sword there. You see the sword here. She has to make a decision based on the evidence that's presented, weigh it up, and then cut through right to the core. Be very practical. This is literally life-changing, this card. It's a major arcana card. It's really important to listen to your intuition when you're making a decision about legal matters, and also anything that's fair and just. But karma's going to come knocking to those people, to the doors of those people that are not doing the right thing. So it's not necessarily your job to carry out anything. Spirit will do it, but do take note, because you'll probably hear when somebody's done the wrong thing, you'll probably hear about it. So that's the first 6 months, the wheels of motion happening, but bearing in mind that there is this sort of interpretation issue around the law because it's natural law. Let's have a look at the second half of, actually I should put that one over here like that. And now we'll look at the second half of the year. What do I see for you? So it is good in the sense that people are turning more and more to spirituality. I'm seeing a lot of emeralds and rubies here, precious stones, and I know that these are spiritual gifts that are coming to you if you're focused on spirit. So sometimes there's some hardship that comes with that in order to get the spiritual evolution. There might be sacrifice, so ask upstairs if you can do it without the sacrifice if possible. I never understand why a sacrifice is required. The card back here, I'm going to go for that one. Jumping around, the King of Cups. Somebody who could come along who's actually very much a feeling person. This is quite a surprise. I don't know where he comes from, but he's some sort of in a position of authority, and he's very much in touch with his feelings. He's got a lot of intuition. The card doesn't specifically say he's coming out of the blue, but I feel like he's coming out of the blue. It's like in a very short time he emerges and people aren't quite expecting it. There's the ocean back here suggesting he's in touch with his intuition. This colour, this indigo, is like the third eye, clairvoyance for example. And when he speaks, it's a very high vibration, so you've got no doubt that he is someone who's got his spiritual act together, because he doesn't just come out with the rubbish that we hear so much today from people in authority. Often there's a lot of rubbish. So, but with this gold around the throat, the messages that he puts out are very high vibration, so that's good news. So the King of Cups, often a very caring person, spiritually evolved, in touch with his feelings, but you'll notice he's still got his feet on the ground. So it's important, very important, to stay grounded and not to get carried away, because this is going to be a year of a lot of passion for for many people. So they're the cards. Now, let's have a look here at the horoscope. I hope you can all see that, what's going on. So I've prepared some notes here so I don't miss anything, basically, because there's so many things. So just an overview, there's a lot of big changes this year. It's almost like, I feel like 2024 was just like a little taste test of what's coming in 2025 and 26. So if you think this year you've had to put up with a lot of change, I'd buckle up my seatbelt, because there's even more coming in 2025. The social planets Jupiter and Saturn are going to kick things off by moving into new signs and setting the tone. And then the outer planets, Uranus, Neptune and Pluto, they'll jump in and they'll bring in those slower, deeper shifts that affect society as a whole. There's a lot of fiery, fast-moving energy throughout the year and plenty of opportunities to embrace the future. So even though there are some difficult times, I just want to let you know that there are also opportunities, and when you see an opportunity, you should grab it with both hands. But the important thing is, as I said before, keep your feet on the ground, and both cards have got that. You see how important it is to be practical. So the social planets guiding the next chapter, Jupiter and Saturn, they're all about how we can connect with our communities and navigate the world around us, especially like close by. So we're all becoming more local. Those buying things from overseas is going to be problematic in terms of logistics, but if you're in the US, it's going to be problematic in terms of tariffs. So tariffs are very inflationary, and it is the people that will be paying the tariffs in the long run. Okay, so if you see an opportunity, grab it immediately. Social planets are bigger than your own life, but they're relating to the community around you. So both these planets are on the move. To start the year, Jupiter is in Gemini here in the third house of communication, so bringing a lot of activity around communications, buzzing ideas, learning, connections, exciting, fast-paced energy, exploring new ideas, curiosity, growing your own network, that sort of thing. Anything involving writing, teaching, communications, publishing. This is a fantastic time in the first half of the year to focus on these things. After June 9, Jupiter will then move into Cancer, which is the fourth house here, and things start getting more personal, more domestic. It's about your family, your home, your close emotional connections. It's a softer energy, but also more reflective, and so you need time to sit and process everything that's going on. It's time to slow down, focus on what really matters to you emotionally, and whether that's spending more time with loved ones, building a nurturing environment, or reconnecting with your roots. Jupiter will go retrograde in Cancer, so then it does a little circle going backwards, and this offers you the chance for some inner reflection. It's great for revisiting past emotional lessons, deepening your understanding of what truly matters to you, and assessing your emotional connections to ensure you're on the right path. The main lesson is balance the heart and the mind, because in Gemini here, you're likely to have quite racing thoughts and a lot of thoughts, but here it's all slowing down. So it's like getting the balance of mind and heart. Saturn in Pisces and Aries. Saturn's up here in the 12th house of the subconscious, bringing some feelings of limitation or restriction, but also it is about scheduling your time to really go within and have a look at things. So the first half of the year up until May 24th, it's finishing its time here in Pisces, and it's been teaching us lessons about boundaries in spiritual and emotional areas of our lives. It's time to get real about our dreams and decide what's achievable and what isn't achievable or realistic. On May 24th, Saturn is then moving into the sign of Aries here, and you can see there's a fair bit happening here. And with all this activity in the first house of Aries, this is all about instigation and new things, new ventures, new ideas, getting out into the world. It's also about identity and appearance, key points as well. With Saturn moving in here, Sometimes there's a feeling of restriction. You can't sort of do what you want, and Saturn does slow things down as well. Aries wants to charge ahead, but Saturn wants patience and discipline and proper planning. So it might feel a little bit frustrating at first, but it is the kind of energy that does create breakthroughs. If you do the hard work, Saturn in Aries will help you build up something physical, and it could be truly lasting. On the 1st of September, Saturn then dips back into Pisces here in the 12th house. It's almost like a little breather where we can be reminded to sit and reflect about what's happening, and then it'll come back into Aries and off we'll go again. So Saturn retrograde is July 13th to November 27th, and this is a period of reflection on your actions and initiatives. It's time to reassess your goals, ensure you're not rushing into things, and make plans that are grounded in reality. It's about refining your strategies and building a stronger foundation for future success. Saturn in Aries is fiery and bold if you've done your preparation work. Saturn doesn't like you to cut corners or take shortcuts, and so you'll be stopped if you try to do anything like that. So make sure everything's done properly and with diligence, and Saturn appreciates that. Now, the outer planets. So we're talking now about Neptune and Pluto. Uranus is here in the second house, and these planets, they don't just influence your own personal life, they're all about the collective, the country you live in, large groups of people, and entire generations. So these transpersonal planets are all going to shift gears, and this is going to bring huge changes to everybody. So Uranus in Gemini is a revolution of ideas, and up to the first half of the year, say July 7, it's been in Taurus, and then it will go into Gemini up to November 7, and then go back to Taurus. So it's here in the second house, all about money, bringing up weird, different, volatile, unexpected changes around money. Then it moves into the third house of communications, so we can expect some really big technology changes around communications in 2025. It'll dip back to Taurus, and then it'll come forward again. So it's quite a rebellious type of energy. It brings a lot of surprises. It'll shake up our financial systems and then go into Gemini, and then shake up telecommunications as well, and the internet. It's all about innovation, and we're going to see lots of breakthroughs in technology, new ways of exchanging information, maybe a few shocking revelations as well. We'll be pushed to think differently, and how we use social media will probably change, how we educate ourselves will probably change, and even how we have those conversations will change. But Uranus in Gemini also comes with challenges. Sometimes it can feel scattered and intense. Sometimes there's misunderstandings because it's not what you expect's going to be said or how you respond. It's the unexpected. So sometimes we get given more information than we can handle. We're being pushed to process information more quickly in our brains, and people are starting to talk faster and faster and faster. And I've been on the phone to the bank, and the girl's just blah, 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 blah. I said, I can't understand you. What language are you speaking? Because she's talking like hundreds of words per minute, not 150 or 200 words a minute, but really going to town and have to get her to slow down. And that's young people too, because they're digital natives. They're used to processing information more quickly than us older folk. However, sometimes it's just a shallow view that they get. They don't get the deeper view. So there's pros and cons both ways. But Uranus in Gemini is going to really push us to handle lots of information in a very short time. It'll be hard to keep up with the chaos. Uranus retrograde will be 6th of September till the February the 3rd, 2026 in Taurus and Gemini, and this will encourage a review of the innovative ideas and technological advancements that have emerged in 25. The period is ideal for refining your communication strategies, revisiting past breakthroughs, ensuring that your innovative projects are right on track. And then we go to Neptune over here in the 12th house. Neptune in Pisces, at home, completely happy. Everything's been spiritual, and we've been looking above and looking to spirit for information. Now it's going to go into Aries on March 30th, and it'll be direct until 4th of July. And then it goes retrograde October 22 through to the rest of the year and into 2026. So since it's been in Pisces since 2011, we've been, as I said, sort of looking to spirit for more information. But sometimes that could mean that we're not grounded, that we've been a little bit in dreamland. Neptune in Pisces can blur the lines sometimes between illusion and reality. This can be really good for creativity, but it's not very good for actually accomplishing in the real world, the real physical world anyway. Now it's going into Aries, and Aries is normally sort of bold and action-packed. This is where we're going to see spiritual ideals getting put to work. So it's not just about your dreams, what you wish, it's about actively building a better future now. So getting your boots on the ground and actually doing physical things. People may take on bold causes and movements like spiritual activism or environmental justice. These things could really take off. Do watch out for extremes. Neptune in Aries can push people to go overboard with fanaticism. So if you think there's been fanaticism the last year or two, hang on to your horses, because the next 2 years, 25 and 26, are just, going to be off the charts. And when you see someone that's so fanatical about something, you know that they're not grounded. The next step is many of those people that are not grounded, you can tell by what they've achieved physically in their lives. Look back if you know their history and see what they've achieved. And if they're ungrounded, there won't be much physicality that they've been able to manifest. So that's a little clue you can look for. This energy also encourages bravery in following your spiritual path. You might be the only person in your family. You might be the black sheep that follows a spiritual path and no other family members do. And so you'll feel a bit better about that. But on the other hand too, progress isn't about burning everything down in the process. So even if you are the black sheep, there might be some scenarios where you could make peace with family members. Neptune retrograde 4th of July to December 10, and this will bring a period of going within, spiritual reflection. It's a time to reassess your spiritual goals, ensure you're not being carried away by ideals, and to ground your spiritual pursuits in practical action. It's an opportunity to deepen your understanding and make sure that your actions align with your beliefs. Pluto in Aquarius, changing the game globally. Pluto is deep into Aquarius in 2025, right up until 2043. So its energy is all about innovation, equality, and collective power. It's not going to be just about what the government says or just about what the large corporations say. That's going to change over the next 20 years, thankfully. It's a very long-term transit, and the shifts that it brings, they're not quick fixes. They're slow, transformative changes in how society operates. We'll see big questions being asked about how power is distributed, especially in the realms of technology and social systems. AI and tech will dominate the headlines. Who controls it? How do we use it ethically? These are Plutonian questions, and they'll run deep and demand answers. For individuals, this is a powerful time to embrace collaboration, working with others, so networking, community-based projects, eating locally, trying to grow your own food and maybe selling it to the local shop or something like that. It's about moving towards progressive, forward-thinking goals. It's not about going back to 1950s. So I know people are worried about that, especially women. I can understand why. If in some countries, including America, you feel like you're going backwards with bodily autonomy and your rights, basically. But Pluto isn't interested in going back to the past. So it will have its way, one way or the other. It will be retrograde in Aquarius from May 4th to October 13. And during this time, it'll be getting you to go within and looking at ways to shake things up and break free from the usual routine. It pushes us to think differently about how we interact with society and technology. and also about the changes in how we connect with each other and the world around us. It really is a great opportunity for personal and social transformation, sparking new ideas and progress. Think about how you can contribute to positive change regarding the world now. Everybody's got a little niche or something small. If you don't know what to do, just open your eyes. When Spirit puts something right in front of you that needs fixing or someone needs helping, that's how you do it. You do just step by step what's in front of you and go with that. Some other powerful transits this year. So mid-June is a very powerful time, and it's a challenging time because on June 15th, Jupiter will square Saturn. This creates a bit of push you, pull me energy between the desire for growth and the need for discipline or responsibility. It might feel like you're struggling to balance your ambitions with practical limitations. And then on the 18th, just a couple of days later, Jupiter squares Neptune, and this can make a bit of a muddle of things. You might be feeling rather confused around this time. Sometimes you could be questioning your dreams or ideals that seem out of reach, and this could lead you to some uncertainty about what's real and what's wishful thinking. So with these squares occurring so close together, it's a good idea to take your time with decisions and reflect on your goals and try not to do too much mid-June. So this period could be more about navigating challenges rather than making big moves. Stay grounded, give yourself space to assess the situation. So Jupiter in Gemini square Chiron in Aries on October 23rd, again on July 1st, 2026. These are strong healing energies that are amplified during this spiritual time of learning and growing. That would be a great time, either of those dates, to go on spiritual retreat if you possibly can. Also, this very much reminded me of growing pains when I was growing up. When I was around 10 or 11, I had a lot of growing pains in my legs, and I went to the doctor even, but he just said it's growing pains, don't worry about it. But it did actually hurt a fair bit, and it reminds me of Jupiter squaring Chiron when the body stretches and adjusts, and sometimes it hurts. So it's about intellectual and emotional growth, and that can be challenging. And those leg aches that I'm remembering, and you might remember too, it's uncomfortable and sometimes it's rather intense, but it does lead to greater strength and understanding and maturity later. So pushing past the old wounds and finding new ways to heal, even if it means experiencing a bit of discomfort along the way. Okay, key eclipses of 2025. These are supposed to be eclipses. So these ones here with the moon on one side, these are the lunar eclipses, and then these ones with the sun, it's supposed to be with the moon in front, the solar eclipses. So eclipses are always about wild cards. They're shaking up the status quo. The effects of eclipses can actually last for months. They can occur a few months before, a few months after, but the strongest time period when you're likely to feel it the most is 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after the dates that I'm going to give you in a moment. But it's about shaking things up and bringing things to light, shining a light on something. So in 2025, these eclipses activate Virgo, Aries and Pisces, pointing to themes of action, healing and emotional release. So 2 weeks before and after these dates, March 14th, there's a lunar eclipse in Virgo, so that's here, and it's going to bring up themes, because it's in Virgo, it's going to bring up themes of health, routines, organisation, maybe even climate change or the earth. March 29th, there's a solar eclipse in Aries over here, and that's a powerful new beginning. It's likely to be driven by courage and bold action. September 7th, there's a lunar eclipse in Pisces, bringing emotional closures and deeper spiritual realizations. And September 21st, there's a partial solar eclipse in Virgo, and again over here. And so this could bring fresh starts, new beginnings in health or wellness, perhaps ecology, climate change, working with the earth or working with your body, and that would be good for a lot of people. So Do keep an eye on the weeks around these dates. Eclipses are a big cosmic push in a new direction. So it's a big year full of action and transformation. You do need to be cautious about burning out because there is so much fire energy and so much air energy. It's likely that fire and air will dominate in many respects, and it's the kind of energy that pushes us forward, but it's also a year where we need to pace ourselves so we don't burn out. We're going to hear of monumental bushfires, metaphorically speaking, and probably literally as well. The social planets guide us to grow emotionally and to take action responsibly, while the outer planets remind us that innovation and transformation are here whether we're ready or not. I think it's better that we prepare ourselves. So take the risk, make the leap, and keep things practical where you can. This can be a year for working with the energy of change and building something remarkable out of the chaos. Okay, so that's my overview. The individual horoscopes for each sign will be going up very shortly as well. I do hope this is helpful for you. Let me know in the comments. If you're new, think about subscribing. That would be great. I just want to wish you all a very wonderful 2025. It's certainly going to be a year of surprises and growth. Let's make it insightful surprises. Thanks so much again. I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.